All right, believe it or not, first year under the belt for Stan Wilcox, Director of Athletics at Florida State. Of course, Rob Wilson joining you to talk about that first 12 months and what a 12 months it has been. If you're a Florida State fan, you have been on cloud nine, and rightfully so. Our athletic director is no different, I'm sure. You start off with the football national championship. You back that up with playing for the national championship in soccer. The next semester, you play for it in sand volleyball. Softball makes it to the College World Series. Just a tremendous start for your career here.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable, for both myself and my wife. We've came here and kind of hit the ground running. It was the start of the kickoff luncheon last year. It was my first official duties. And, just coming here and being present for that and seeing the numbers of people that came out for it, the passion of the people. And then, just this past Friday was 1 year that we've been here and had our second kickoff luncheon. And so it's been, for myself, it's been a wonderful year. I couldn't have scripted any better for my first year as an athletics director. And I tell a lot of people that ask me about my first year, I say, well, it's kind of like, an AD that's been on the job for 5 years. I think I took it all in 1 year.
You packed a lot into that first 12 months, I'll tell you that. And everyone will attest to it. One of my favorite things being on the staff for a while to see is somebody coming in and being down there on the field for the first time when the Osceola and Renegade comes out and starts a football game. Nothing like it was there when you saw that as well. And to be in charge of all that's got to be a point of pride, I'm sure. One of the things that's flown a little bit under the radar outside of the building, sure hadn't in the Moore Athletic Center and hadn't throughout the ACC, but those 8 ACC championships last year, remarkable. It's one of the highest totals ever in ACC history. It's the most for Florida State in 20 years in terms of ACC wins, and that's awfully good across the board success.
Yeah, and that just speaks volumes to how committed our coaches are and our student athletes are, not in just the revenue generating sports, but in all sports. All our student athletes want to win national championships. They want to win ACC championships, and they want to do well in the classroom. And we want to provide. I want to make sure that I'm providing all the necessary tools for our coaches to be successful, and for our student athletes to be successful. And it really is apparent that this past year that's what everybody's goals are, is to be very successful. And I couldn't be more than happy than what has transpired this past year. Within the ACC conference, it's a point of pride for us. It's a point of pride for, I know, a number of the athletic directors within the ACC, prior to becoming the AD. And so, they kind of look at me and kind of like, yeah, first year luck, Stan. Let's see if you can reproduce that. So for me, it's been wonderful, and I'm looking to hopefully continue it. And the way you continue it is you make sure that your coaches and your student athletes have all the things that they need to be successful.
I don't know if you told your basketball coaches at Louisville and Pitt and everybody else are coming up on the schedule, throwing a lot at them for their first year in the ACC. But we're getting there. You summed up what you kind of see your role there is in a couple of words, and that is providing the coaches and student athletes the tools they need to be successful. And I know when you spend time with our athletes, you challenge them academically. I know that's huge. It was very important in your job interview that you work at an institution that really did value the academic portion of that career, and I know you challenge them to take advantage of all they can.
Yeah, whenever I speak to our student athletes, I want them to always remember that, they're going to be successful on the playing field. They're going to be playing against the best, and they're going to be playing with the best competition, in the country. And they have to remember that in the classroom, they're going to be competing against the best students in the country as well. And therefore, they should not, lower their guards when they go into the classroom. They should be taking that same competitive energy that they produce and put out on the playing field, on the practice field. They need to take that in the classroom. Because, when their playing days are over, they're going to be in competition for, the jobs that are out there. They're going to be in competition to get into law school, to get into grad school, and get into medical school. And they want to make sure that they are taking all the advantages of the academic offerings that this university has to offer. And so that when they're ready to do those things, to go to grad school, law school, or if they're looking for that big time job on Wall Street, that they are prepared and they have competed with the best students in the classroom, and that they can get those jobs and get admitted to law school. So I have to constantly remind them of that, because sometimes that gets lost, because you really think about the upcoming practice, the upcoming competition, etc. And you sometimes forget that student that's sitting right next to you every day in class, they're competing to be the best, the number one in their class, and I don't want our kids to lose out on that.
Well, when the director of athletics tells you that, you probably listen, but you listen particularly intensely when you know he's sort of practicing what he preached. And he played basketball, I'll remind everyone, at Notre Dame, very successful basketball program when he was there, and very successful basketball player, and then went on to get further his education, get a law degree, and then build the background that brought him to where he is now at Florida State, and kind of really does put into practice that academic athletic balance that he's teaching everyone. Now, we talk about last year and the tremendous success we had last season, and Coach Fisher's fond of saying that ended the day after the bowl game, after all that confetti fell off our shoulders and we flew back from California in terms of football. But as we look forward to this season, you got football team #1 in the country, predicted to be in the first playoff. You've sold more tickets than we've sold in 20 years into the football stadium. You got cross-country teams, both of which are men and male and female, both of which are predicted to win in the Southeast. You've got a volleyball powerhouse. You've got a soccer team that's already had a huge win in front of a great crowd. We've got the Florida game coming up. So it looks like 14-15 could be just as successful.
Well, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that we continue to progress on the playing field. Again, as I mentioned earlier, it's a testament to how committed our coaches and our players are. It's always helpful when you win national championships to be able to continue to do very well on the recruiting trails and get the best athletes that there are out there, so that you can continue to build your program and to make your program successful. And this year, we finished number 12th in the Directors' Cup. And we're looking to be in the top 10 and top 5, and I think all of our coaches, all student athletes, would like to do that as well. So the way you do that is you have success on the playing field, and I think that every program is looking to do that, and we're trying to help every program do that by providing them with everything that they need to be successful. So hopefully, not only this year but the years to follow, that we will continue to do very well on the playing field and have success there, and be able to thump on our chests that we nationally, across the board in all sports, are being successful, and that is measured through the Directors' Cup. And our goal, or at least my goal, is to be in the top 5. And I have a few friends that are ADs that have been in the top 5 for some years, and I keep telling them, we're coming after you.
Just as competitive as he wants our athletes and coaches to be. You led me perfectly into the next question in terms of support. Tucker Civic Center is, all the multicolored chairs are gone, folks, or at least most of them will be gone by the time this airs. Lots of garnet in there. Floor's been redone, center hung boards, ribbon boards. Tremendous transition over there, doing some nice things in Doak Campbell Stadium as we go, really ambitious plans on the board. You've linked arm in arms with Seminole boosters and really campus-wide on this campaign, capital campaign we're calling it, $250 million to ensure the future of Florida State athletics, and that'll touch the life of a student athlete in several ways, in the arenas they practice in, and endowed scholarships and other areas as well.
Yeah, and if you, as you know that the lifeblood of any athletics department really is how well our facilities are, because the student athletes these days are savvy consumers, and they want to see where they're going to be practicing and competing for the next 4 or 5 years, and in order for us to continue to attract the top talent to our institution, we have to stay on the cutting edge of facilities, and we have to make sure that we're providing facilities that are going to attract the top talent. And that's not just sitting back and building a facility and then leaving it there for 20, 25 years. It's building a facilities, maintaining that facility, going in and seeing what new technologies that you have to put in the facilities to make sure that you're providing the best fan experience you possibly can, because the fans are the ones that really get our kids energized to play well on the court, as well as you have to look at your practice facilities and where our kids are practicing on a day-to-day basis. You have to look at all areas that kind of touch upon our student athletes. That includes strength and conditioning, our athletics training staff, the type of medical attention we provide to them, nutrition. And all of these things come with a dollar tag to it, and I couldn't be more happy than what we're currently doing in strategically planning for our future by looking at all these particular areas and coming up with what we need in order to continue to grow our facilities, to continue to grow our offerings, our endowing our scholarships, etc. And the Seminole Boosters are the ones that are going to help us make that happen. And we've done it in the past. This is going to be our most ambitious capital campaign, but I'm sure and I know that we're going to be very successful because we have very passionate fans, we have very passionate supporters and boosters who are going to continue to help us grow and be the best that we can be across the board.
Fantastic first year at Florida State for yourself. I know you're very pleased with the folks you've surrounded you with and your executive staff and within the athletic department. Tremendously bright future for the upcoming year. What are your final thoughts as you go into your second year at Florida State?
Well, I think my final thoughts are, how can I top this past year? And, I'm just excited about the fact that we have committed coaches, committed student athletes, a committed university administration, boosters, fans that are all behind us and all want to see us succeed. And I have no doubt that we'll be able to be as successful as we were last year and in future years because of this support that we get from everybody. And, so for me, my final thoughts are, let's get it on. Let's take this to the next level, and we're going to have another successful year. And we're going to see even more accolades that come out this year. And I'm looking forward to it, that's all.
Just a year away. We'll see you about this time next year and find out if we did even better.